right, man. Combat Convo. You know what it is, man. So today's we're gonna be talking about Charles Oliveria versus Michael Chandler. What we think about that fight. Let's get to it. All right, yeah, man. We back. Look. So like, share, subscribe if you wanna all that good stuff. So Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. This is their second fight. Right? I believe Charles the first fight, I believe Charles submitted him the first fight. I believe he submitted him, Michael Chandler. The second fight, uh, Charles basically dominated the fight. It was crazy because he had Michael Chandler running like he had him running in the first fight. But what I really want to focus on is how certain things happen in that fight and the referee didn't stop the fight. So there was certain things in the fight where Michael Chandler was holding on to the gate. Don't supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? And there was in one particular round where Oliveira tried to go for Charles' torso and he slipped, and um he ended up coming around. Michael Chandler ended up coming around him, and he had Charles back. But the way he had Charles back was Charles was still on the side of him, and Michael Chandler was hitting Charles in the back of the head repeatedly. Like, I'm talking like pounding in the back of the head. Now, I don't know. That's illegal. At least from what I've been reading, that you can't punch nobody in the back of the head. You can't. And he was pounding him at least 10 times in the back of the head. And the referee didn't say, I believe somebody said, well, you can't be doing that. He was hitting him in the back of the head. So I think that I don't know if what's going on with certain UFC fighters, and I don't want to bring up no conspiracy theories or whatever. But anyway, so I believe in the last round, because they went all rounds, Charles had him in a lock where he was trying to submit him, but Michael Chandler, did the fall back, boom, and obviously Charles is prepared for anything like that. And he got it. Michael Chandler ended up getting up, and he did it again. And obviously Charles, once he grabbed onto you, it's very hard to get him off of you. And and then the bell rung or whatever. But for the most part, the fight was on standing up, and Charles kept chipping him up the whole fight. You know what I'm saying? Charles striking is A1, chipping him up. Boop, 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 boop. I guess what I'm saying is, it's one thing that I learned about the UFC and certain fighters. I really believe that the UFC gives certain fighters different privileges than other fighters. That's just how I feel. I believe that certain fighters, they won't match them up with each other, and I also believe that they give special treatment to certain fighters. That's just what I believe. But what do you think about the fight?
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of stuff going on in that fight that was very unfamiliar. I was like, yo, you can't grab the gate like that. How is he grabbing on the gate and the ref is not saying nothing? And then the whole hitting in the back of the head type of thing. I was like, wow, this ref is being very, very loose this fight because he
Yeah,
ain't called nothing. You know what I mean? He was just letting it go, which I kind of understand. You know what I mean? Because you want to get a decisive winner. You don't want to disrupt the fight too much. But I mean, come on, man. Like a lot of the stuff in there was obvious, but yeah, Oliveira dominated that fight. Uh, I can't remember even one time that Chandler even like had some flashes of, yeah, he could upset. There was nothing. He he got destroyed, and that's nothing. That's not to take nothing away from him. He's a terrific fighter, but this was a massacre. He was Oliveria was chipping him up the whole entire fight, and then the times that he tried to escape, he ended up getting caught. So it's like, you know, my question is, where does Oliveria go from here? Is he going to get another title shot to redeem himself? Because last time I remember, wasn't he stripped of the title? Wasn't he
So
stripped of it or something?
all right. So what happened was he was a half a pound overweight, a half a pound. So they took the belt from him,
Half a
and
pound. Wow.
he still I believe he still beat Justin Gaethje, but since they took the belt from him, it was vacant because he didn't make weight. Now the
Mm-hmm.
crazy part is if Justin Gaethje would have won, they would have gave Gaethje the belt, but he lost. So since he lost, and Charles came in a half a pound overweight. It wasn't a pound, it wasn't 2 pounds. It was a half a pound overweight. They stripped him of the title. And for what I'm hearing, that happened to Khabib. He came in a half a pound or even a pound, and they never did that to him. That's what I heard. I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying what I heard. And then they didn't take it from him. So what happened was he beat him, but then he fought Islam Makhachev for the title. So he had to fight for his title again. You know what I'm saying? Even though it was his title, because even Dana White said Charles is still the champ. And he lost to Makhachev. Makhachev smitted him in the middle of the ring with the bear hug John. So he lost that fight. I have a theory the reason why he lost. Two reasons why I think he lost. One, because they fought over there and his sleep was messed up. And two, Charles had corrective eye surgery. The whole time Charles Oliveira was fighting with no glasses, he was fighting blind, basically. Did you know that?
Wow.
Yeah. So when he had got corrective eye surgery, it was different for him. Because you see, if you ever go look at his pictures, he got on real big, thick glasses.
Mm-hmm.
But then once he got corrective eye surgery, that's when he fought the bull. So I think he was a little bit off. You know what I'm saying? That's just my theory. I definitely think Charles can beat Makhachev. I think Makhachev is good. He's excellent. He's an excellent fighter, and he talks a lot. He talks so much. He got knocked out before, so I don't know why he does that. Talks a lot, but um, I definitely think that if they once they fight again, Charles is going to beat him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he knows he figured him out. And that's the thing about Charles. He always gets better as the fights go on. You feel like his last fight, I think he submitted the bull because if you see the fight before this one, the bull was tapping, and then the referee didn't see it. That's what I seen. He was
Mm-hmm.
tapping, the referee didn't see it, and then it was the end of the rounds. He went all 5 rounds. He won that fight. I think that was the fight that they say he lost. Either it was a fight before that where Charles lost, and then he was supposed to fight Makhachev again, and I think he got an eye injury or something like that, so he couldn't fight him. And that's when Makhachev fought. Uh, I believe he fought Volkanovski.
Yeah, he
I
fought
believe he fought
Volkanovski.
Volkanovski. He stepped in or
Yeah.
whatever, and he got kicked in the head and got knocked out or whatever. But the first fight, Volkanovski won that fight. Again, he won that fight. You know what I'm saying? Justin Poirier and Makhachev was an excellent fight. That was a good fight. Makhachev won. So Makhachev been through some wars, but me personally, I think they pair him up with people where they believe it's a good fight. They won't pair him up with the Wolf. I don't know why. And the Wolf was trying to fight him. I believe. I remember when he had a little beef with Khabib in their camp. He wanted to
Mm-hmm.
fight him, and they won't let the fight happen. But he has to get a title shot too. Now I don't know who he's going to get a title shot from. So Charles is in the line for a title shot, and the Wolf is in the line for a title shot. They got to get these dudes title shots. You know what I'm saying? You got to. Got to give him a title shot. I think the Wolf fought last week. His best fight was with the Brazilian bull. What's the bull name? Right on the tip of my tongue. Brazilian bull who fought. He fought a couple of times. He fought like 4 times in 1 year. One time. That was the Wolf's best fight because he almost got knocked out in that fight. So, but yeah, I think Charles' next fight, it may be a title shot. I'm not sure, but Makhachev probably is gonna fight somebody before he fights Charles. He got to, because he's not gonna just fight Charles now. Like Charles just fought, so it's not gonna be fight him now. Like no, but I believe Makhachev probably is gonna fight. I don't know who he gonna fight next. I have no clue. I have no clue who he's gonna fight next. No clue. And you never know. It might get to the point where if he fights somebody next, the next person he fight, he might lose. And then him and Charles might never get to fight again. That's how it goes. So I don't know.
Well, I definitely think that Oliveria should get his rematch. I definitely think he should get that, due to the fact that he never lost the title in the first place.
Yeah,
like I do get his rematch.
He's Charles Oliveira has the most submissions, and I believe the longest win streak in UFC history.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it's 17. I think it's 11. Makhachev had 11, and Makhachev broke his win streak because before that, Charles was, I believe, 17, 18, or something like that. In submissions or something like that too. But Charles been fighting for a long time. They've been fighting for a long time. He's been fighting. I think he's like 30 something years old now. He's been fighting since he was 19. So he's been fighting over almost 20 years. So it was like, what do you do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so at this point, and you know the crazy thing is, a lot of people don't notice. I just read this today actually. He went into that fight injured. He was injured that fight. He said that one of his ligaments was torn in his leg, and he had another injury or something like that. And he went into the fight injured, and he still put on a performance. So who knows? We'll see what happens, man. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Got anything else?
No, I don't got anything else.
All right, well, look, man. We out of here. See y'all. Peace. Bye.